What's up, guide hunters? If you have ever wondered why one attack completely destroys an enemy while another barely scratches it, the answer is almost always the type system. Today I will explain exactly how the Evomon type chart works, so you can make much better decisions in every battle. Every Evomon has at least one type, also called an element. This type determines which enemies it is strong against, which opponents can easily defeat it, and what kinds of attacks it can resist. Once you understand these interactions, battles become much easier because you will know when to switch monsters instead of simply attacking. There are 4 main elemental interactions you should remember. The first is a neutral interaction, where attacks deal their normal damage. The second is elemental strength, which lets your move deal 2 times its normal damage. The third is elemental weakness, where your attacks deal reduced damage against certain types. Finally, there is elemental resistance, which means your Evomon only receives half damage from specific types. Let me give you a simple example using Blastpup. Since it is a fire type, it deals double damage against grass, ice, bug, and steel monsters. At the same time, fire attacks are weak against water, ground, and rock enemies, so using fire moves against those types is usually a bad idea. The defensive side is just as important. Blastpup takes double damage from water, ground, and rock attacks. On the other hand, it resists grass, ice, bug, and steel attacks, meaning those attacks only deal half their normal damage. You should always think about both your attack and your defense before choosing which Evomon to send into battle. One thing that helps a lot is remembering that strengths and resistances do not always match perfectly. For example, water types are strong against fire, ground, and rock, but they only resist fire and steel attacks. That means simply knowing what a type defeats is not enough. You should also learn what that type can safely defend against. As you continue progressing through the game, you will notice several types appearing over and over. Fire types are excellent against grass, ice, bug, and steel. Water types perform well against fire, ground, and rock. Grass types are perfect for water, ground, and rock opponents. Electric types are the best answer to water, flying, and steel enemies. Ice types shine against grass, ground, flying, and dragon monsters. Fighting types are your strongest option against normal, ice, rock, and steel enemies. Ground types are especially valuable because they counter fire, electric, rock, and poison types. Bug types are excellent against grass and psychic, while psychic types work best against fighting and poison opponents. Dragon types mainly specialize in fighting other dragon monsters. Trust me, you do not need to memorize the entire chart on your first day. Instead, focus on the most common matchups you encounter while progressing through the islands. Once those become second nature, the rest of the type chart becomes much easier to remember. The biggest mistake new players make is building a team full of their favorite monsters instead of balancing different types. If your team only covers a few elements, sooner or later you will run into an enemy that counters nearly everything you have. A balanced team gives you answers for many different situations and makes boss battles much less frustrating. Whenever you catch a new Evomon, take a quick look at its type before deciding whether it belongs on your team. Sometimes a monster is worth using simply because it covers an elemental weakness that your current team cannot handle. This is especially important once you start facing stronger bosses and higher level content. The type chart is one of the most important mechanics in Evomon. Understanding strengths, weaknesses, and resistances will improve your battles far more than simply leveling up another monster. Once you learn these elemental matchups, you will deal more damage, survive longer, and clear difficult fights much more consistently. If this type chart guide made battles easier for you, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Evomon Roblox guides, builds, and strategy tips.